Welcome back to the Dr. Des Show. Today we are talking about something that I feel like every public health entrepreneur needs to think about. We are thinking about 3 major public health CEO strategies that you need to be considering at least every week in your business. So I'm not talking about how many followers you have, how many likes you got on whatever, right? I'm talking about your revenue, your reach, and your relationship, okay? The 3 R's, all right? And these 3 metrics are literally the heartbeat of your business, okay? For whether you are consulting, you have one-on-one clients, you have businesses as clients, you are doing more direct to consumer type services, selling courses, memberships, whatever it may be. If you're not tracking these 3 things, then you're not leading like a CEO. You are more so reacting like a freelancer, all right? So I'm not talking about how many RFPs you bookmarked and you never opened again either, right? Like, we are talking about some real strategy today, all right? So before we get started, make sure that you like and subscribe to this podcast. Make sure that you share it with a friend, guys, and make sure that you leave me a review, okay? Let me know how you like the podcast. Leave me some comments and feedback. Also, if you have not signed up for the Public Health CEO Bootcamp, then it is happening on July 14th, guys. Like, if you haven't signed up, get in the room, all right? It is absolutely free, and we're talking all about strategies for scaling your public health business and really leading your business like the CEO that you are, okay? So, number 1, revenue, guys. The money, the dollar bill, okay? You have to know your money. In order to grow your business, you gotta know the money. And I know it may be a little intimidating, right? If you've never been a budgeter, you've never worked with money, I'm gonna need you to get good at this, right? And not only just hire somebody, because if you hire somebody to deal with your money and you don't know what's going on, then my friend, just don't do that, okay? Know your money, okay? Know the goals, because you want to be able to dictate where your money goes, understand your money, and you don't want anybody to ever get over on you because you don't understand your financials. You don't understand your profit and loss statements, okay? So now, a lot of us, we get into public health to serve, not necessarily to sell, right? But if you want to keep serving, you need sustainability, all right? And sustainability really does start by knowing how much money is coming in and where it's coming from, all right? So ask yourself these questions. What service, offer, or contract is generating most of your income? Are you underpricing yourself because you're still thinking like an employee? And are you consistently bringing in monthly income, or are you crossing your fingers every 30 days to try to see what happens, right? Now, the number 1, what service offer is generating the most income, right? This is going to let you know, okay, do I need to keep scaling this up? Is it time to diversify my funding streams, right? And if you are a consultant, then diversifying your funding streams may just look like, all right, I have this one federal contract. Maybe I want to get some non-federal contracts on the side, right? Maybe I want to actually start a course, right? And market that course to other people, right? What do those different funding streams look like? But we need to know where most of our money, where is like 80% of your money coming from, right? And we need to get really clear on that. And then we can start building out systems, because what happens if that contract goes away? We have seen in this space right now with federal government, federal contracting, it's a lot of ups and downs right now. We still don't know what's going on all the way, okay? So we want to make sure that like we are setting up these systems in place to really think about these things. And then, are you underpricing your services? Now, here is the thing I see so many times with us public health professionals. We love to help people, right? I always say, about 99% of the public health professionals I meet, we do it because we love what we do. We want to make a difference. We want to help people. However, you don't have to be poor to help people, okay? You can make money and help people, all right? It is okay to want to live a great life, to want to be financially successful, to want to be a millionaire, to want to be a billionaire. It is okay for you to want those things. And it is okay for you to build systems, for you to build services that help people and make you money, all right? It is fine, okay? If nobody else told you that, Dr. Dez is telling you it is okay to make money. All right. And you want to think about these things. And then also, let's break it up. How much money are you bringing in each month? How much money are you bringing in each week? How much money are you bringing in each quarter? Let's know our revenue, all right? So we have to talk numbers and not be afraid to talk numbers, okay? So you don't got to be a finance whiz, you don't got to be a CPA, all right? But you do need to pay attention to your numbers and what they are doing, all right? And in like the CEO boot camp that we are about to have, we're going to be talking all about scaling your business. We're going to be talking all about how do you understand those systems and put those systems in place to understand your numbers and know that when is it time to diversify my funding streams? When is it time to do those things at a high level? What's a reasonable amount to say I'm going to make with this business this month based on all the other things that I've come up with, all right? Because if you don't track your money, your mission can't move, okay? If you don't know where your money is going, then your money is going to run you and not the other way around, all right? And number 2, okay, reach. So 3 R's. So we said revenue was number 1. Number 2 is reach. Who knows you exist? How are you marketing your business, okay? That is the second thing that you got to make sure that you are tracking. Every time you have your CEO day, and if you don't know the CEO day, check out that last podcast that we did and schedule you a CEO day, okay? You got to understand that reach, all right? I'm not just talking about social media numbers. If you are heavy on social media, I know a lot of you guys may not be heavy on social media. Now, I think that even if you have a consulting business, you need to be on LinkedIn because your customers are there. So why aren't you? Okay? But let's think about reach beyond just social media. How many people know about your business? How many eyes are on your offers that you have? Okay? Are you growing your audience with intention or just posting and praying? All right? What is that strategy that you actually have to attract customers, attract potential paying customers? Because one thing that you have to know, when you are building a business, you are trying to lead with intention. You are trying to scale your business and you are utilizing social media like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Your goal is not to be an influencer, right? Your goal, you're not trying to look at, oh, I need 100, 200,000 followers. You need to make sure that you are making content that resonates with the people who it needs to resonate with to get them to convert to a paying customer, right? Don't worry about your followers. Worry about the content that you are putting out there, the quality of the content that you are putting out there. Of course, you may need to hop on some trends or whatever, but you need to make sure that your business, that your Instagram is not just going with the flow of whatever's popular. You're speaking to your ideal client, okay? And if you don't know who your ideal client is, you need to take a step back and do a little bit of ICA work. So ICA is Ideal Client Avatar. Whether it is a nonprofit business that specializes in social impact, in housing stability, instability, or whatever, you need to determine, okay, who is my ideal client? How can I reach them? Where do they hang out? What type of content do they want? And how can I make sure that I am producing that type of content? And of course, get consistent with it, right? So here's some things I learned. Like, you don't need a massive following to make a massive impact. You really don't. You just need the right people saying the right message at the right time. Those are the things that you need to make sure that you have a business that is going to grow, that is going to scale, that is going to convert, that you're going to start getting sales with, okay? And you got to be consistent with it. I know so many people are just like, Dr. Des, I posted on Instagram the other day and I didn't get anything. So I'm just going to figure something else out. And I'm like, how many times did you post? Oh, I did like twice. That's it? Like, no, my friend, come on. Keep going, right? But tracking your reach, one of the big things that I am very big on is email marketing, right? Because it works and it's proven to work not only in my business, but in so many other people's businesses. That's why whenever you go to a store or you buy something online, they ask for your email address because they're going to give you that little 10% off discount code. They want your email address because email marketing works and it's continued to work, okay? So you need to do it as a business. All right. That's just a hot tip for you right there. But I'm tracking my weekly email subscriber growth, right? How many people are subscribing to my emails per week, right? How many people are saying they're interested in joining the public health club, right? What does my website traffic look like? Is my traffic high this week? Is it low this week? What's going on? Am I down 30%? What's going on? What changed in that, right? My workshop registrations, if I'm having a free workshop, like the boot camp coming up. It's free. Make sure you join. But how many people are registering, right? What does that look like? And then also inside the Public Health Club, I'm tracking too. How many people are RSVPing for my workshops? How many people are actually showing up for these workshops, right? Because that also tells me something, right? That tells me what people are interested in based on the RSVPs I get, based on what's going on, right? That's telling me those things, okay? And then speaking engagements too is something you could track as well. If you want to be a speaker, I know a lot of people, you want to go out there and you want to speak about what you have going on. You want to be that thought leader, right? How many speaking engagements are you getting per month, per quarter, right? Per 6 months, per year, okay? What does those metrics look like? And how are you actively growing those things, okay? If your business is a tree, then reach is the sunlight. All right. It sounds cheesy, but you need it in order to grow. Okay. Without it, you can't grow. Okay. Gotta be able to grow your business. And so in the CEO bootcamp, we're going to be talking all about just that, right? Like automating these systems, really scaling your business. How do you do these things? How do you be intentional about doing these things? All right. Because you got to be able to do these things. And also the main thing too is do it without burning out. So many people, we burn out doing this work, especially when we do work we're passionate about and we're not making the move. And a lot of times we're not making the move because we're not being strategic about automating systems, about scaling, about building our business, okay? So that is really just so important, okay? And number 3, relationships. So your next opportunity is probably already in your inbox, right? So this is literally the thing that I feel like gets overlooked all the time. Relationships are literally your real currency in public health entrepreneurship, okay? So are you nurturing your current clients and collaborators, okay? Are you building trust with your audience before pitching? Do people know what you do and refer you because of it? All right. Who knows what you do? I always say, if you don't talk about your business, who will talk about it? You have to talk about your business. You got to put it out there and you got to talk about it constantly. All right. But relationships are so important. There are so many people. I would venture to say maybe 7 out of 10 people who start their consulting businesses, they get a contract because of who they know. The first contract they get is because of who they know, who they make connections with. I was talking to a friend the other day and she was telling me I was I've been more intentional about building out my, public health consulting business on the side. And, I already got 2 contracts just off of some past people that I've worked with before. They hit me up and they needed somebody to do an evaluation. So, I went ahead and said, yeah. And I was like, this is how we build relationships, right? We build relationships with people who can get us contracts too, right? And not just that, they were probably colleagues, I believe. So keeping in touch with your colleagues, going to conferences and being intentional about sharing what you do and knowing how to talk about what you do, that's the big thing too. What do you actually do for people? What is that pitch, right? So for me, it's I'm founder CEO of the Public Health Club, where I help public health professionals become entrepreneurs, land consulting contracts, and advance in their career. So we do that through workshops, through providing a weekly updated list of RFP requests for proposals from non-federal entities. So federal contracts, you can go to sam.gov. Non-federal public health contracts, you come to the Public Health Club, right? That is exactly what I do. How can we partner? Let's talk about it. What do you do? Let's talk about it, right? So those are things you have to make sure that you are intentional about in relationships and then following up with those relationships too. And I admit, I'm not the best, but I'm getting better and I'm actively working to get better at that, okay? So one of the reasons why I wanted to do the boot camp is because I know that we need to make sure that we are moving in our head from founder to CEO. I see so many people stuck at that level of I'm doing everything, right? I'm wearing all the hats. I'm doing all the things in my business and I'm overwhelmed. I'm burnt out. My business isn't growing. It's not making no money. I feel like I've hit a plateau or just whatever reason. And one of the things that I've learned and I've been intentional about doing so I won't hit that plateau is I've been intentional about acting like a CEO, right? I have been going to the coaching sessions, going to the workshops, doing the things to know like, all right, how do I shift this mindset? Because it is one mindset to say, I'm going to start a business. And then it's that next mindset to say, all right, now I'm going to actually act as CEO of my business and scale my business to get to a certain point, right? You being a 6-figure founder is a different mindset from you being a 7-figure founder and an 8-figure founder, right? And I'm trying to get to that 7-figure founder mindset, okay? Like, so what am I going to do? I'm going to surround myself with other people who are there already or who are striving to get there, and we're going to learn this mindset together. And I'm going to have that mindset wash over me, right? I'm going to listen to podcasts from people who have already been there, and I'm going to see what they're saying, and I'm going to actually take note of what they're saying about the mental shifts that I need to make, right? I'm going to build up those relationships, right? And not just relationships for partnerships for my business, but relationships for helping me to scale my business. That is the major thing, because your next contract, your next opportunity, your next speaking gig is probably one DM away, right? One email, one text message away. But if you're not tracking it, if you're not nurturing your relationships, then you'll miss it, right? Make sure that you do that. I have a running list of people who I connect with and people who I'm like, all right, I want to circle back with this person because I can see a potential partnership happening. So I'm making sure that I keep track. And I actually just sent out a few emails this morning for people who I've literally talked to maybe 6 months ago. And I was like, hey, I had this idea. Would you like to partner with me on it? And I think 2 of them have already wrote back and said, yeah, just let me know what I need to do when you want to talk. And, that is how partnerships bloom. That is how relationships bloom and happen and grow, right? So check your revenue. All right. That's your CEO homework. Check your revenue. What's working and what's not working? Where's most of your money coming from? Where do you need to double down on? Where do you maybe need to let go or revamp, right? Audit your reach. Are you growing or are you plateauing, right? What is your reach looking like as you're marketing your services? Because you have to make sure that you are keeping new opportunities open. I don't care if you've had the same clients for the past 10 years. You need new. You gotta be always think about those new strategies to get you those new clients, right? Because that is how you're going to grow your business. That is how you're going to keep making moves, all right? And then reflect on your relationships, okay? Who are you connected to? How are you nurturing those relationships? How are you keeping in touch with them? Maybe it's just as simple as you are interacting with everything that they post on LinkedIn. You're sharing things with them on LinkedIn via the DMs, right? Maybe that's it. And maybe that could be enough for now, right? But you gotta be intentional about those relationships, your revenue, and your reach. All right? The 3 R's, okay? So if you are ready now, come on. The Public Health CEO Bootcamp is free, it's open, and it's ready for you to come in and let's start treating our business like an actual business. And let's focus in on strategies for growth, we're doing it, okay? So I hope to see y'all there. The link is in the show notes for you to register for the Public Health CEO Bootcamp, July 14th through the 16th. Let's go, y'all. All right, I'll see you next time, and I'll see you at the bootcamp. Bye.